Well, we had another epic fish kill event today, and I still don't know quite sure why. My wife called me, I was at work, and she said, hey, we got an emergency. The feeder, remember the feeder, the fancy automatic feeder? Just refilled it the other night. And reset the programmer last night and gave extended feeding times because I wanted to feed the fish a little more. And somehow it tweaked out and it turned on and it stayed on. And it emptied the entire contents of the feeder, which normally would take about 2 to 3 weeks, emptied into the tank in one day. So the water was god awful, the fish were suffocating, the pump system was all plugged up and backed up, the pump had ran out of water and wasn't circulating anymore. So, trying to get fish out as quick as I could because they were dying literally by the minute. What I did was I still had their tote, because I just did a water change yesterday, so I still had this tote full of their dirty water that I just pumped out. So I just started netting fish because they were all swimming up to the surface, wanting oxygen. They were real lethargic. I was actually able to just catch them and net them, throw them over into here, and just, I did that for 40 minutes probably, just catching fish, move fish, catch fish, move fish. And as I was doing that, I started draining this tank down lower and lower and lower, which of course concentrated the fish. And as I was going through, every now and then I'd pick up a dead one, so I'd throw it in the bucket. But ultimately I ended up with, got this tank all the way empty, got inside, flushed it out, rinsed it out, started refilling it with fresh water, and then topped it off with some more of the dirty water, so that it wasn't a 100% water change, so it wouldn't shock the fish so bad. And I've moved some fish back over here into it now. Look into the tote there, you can see a lot of the fish are up top looking for oxygen, so we know that's dirtier water, but they're not nearly as lethargic as they were. So I think they'll be okay for now. I've got an air stone in there, so even without the water circulating, I think they'll be okay. And in this tank, I've got the water going full bore, and I put probably 8 or 10 fish into here. And I'm basically waiting to see if they float. So I'm going to leave it all as is right now. Might come out, every 30 minutes or so and try to catch another net full. But they're not as lethargic as they were. Now if I dip the net in there, they try to get away. So I'm only getting 2 or 3 when I take a stab at it. Whereas when I was moving them from here and they were all lethargic, I could fill the net up with hardly without even trying, So anyway, yeah, I don't know what went wrong with the feeder. It's off now. It was off when I got home. And then as I was cleaning the tank, it was still on auto programming, and it kicked on and started dumping feed in the tank while I was cleaning it. I guess just to rub it in the face, And like I said, I don't know why it freaked out. I'm a little bit scared to turn it back on, of course. So I think for now, I'm going to just feed the fish by hand. And I'll just give, a couple cups of food in the morning and evening. Take them off that automated timer for a little bit until I can decide I can trust it again. But anyway, like I said, there's a good look at the fish. Y'all haven't actually seen them up close and personal while they're getting pretty big. So anyway, we're just testing things out. Like I said, once I'm confident that the water in the original tank is stable for them, I'll try to get all the rest of these out of this tank and move back into the original tank. Get this tank drained fully down so that it can return to its service as their dirty water tank that I pump out in the garden. And once I get it drained down, cleaned out, that'll take me a couple days probably. And so then I'll do another 50% water change. I might do, several here in the next couple days. This is a crap load of water, but I want to get their water clean, because it's cloudy right now. And normally that's about how it would look after a normal 50% water change. I want it to look absolutely clean. So, we'll just kind of see what comes of it, but, stuff happens. That's all I can say. That feeder has served me well for months without a hitch. And then just like that, one day, something goes wrong. And like I said, I still don't know what went wrong. I extended the feed times by 15 seconds per time, which is 5 feedings. So that's an extra minute and 15 seconds throughout the course of the day. There's no way that additional time is what causes strain the feeder. It was feeding about 45 seconds 5 times a day, or a minute 5 times a day. So, and it would take 2 to 3 weeks to run dry. So there's no way that it, just by adding 15 seconds, made it dump all the feed like that in one day. I think it's stuck on for some reason. One time I think it just turned on and stayed on. and dump it all in one shot. Anyway, it sucks, but we're getting her cleaned up and wrapped up and trying to get things kicked off and running again. So I just came out here a bit later now. It's been about an hour and a half or so since I made that last video, maybe 2 hours. And the fish in what was the dirty water tank here, they're all still up at the top, but like I said, when I go try to net them, they all run away. So I took a few jabs deep to see what I'd get, and I started coming up with more dead fish that are not floating yet, but they're sunk to the bottom. So I've got some in the bucket there. Got this one here, which is a pretty darn good sized fish. I mean, as far as tilapia are concerned, this would almost be, you know, good little fillet on that one. But since I didn't get them purged in time, and since they died under stress, I'm not going to go fillet this one out. So I'm going to keep netting them out and keep seeing what I find. Hopefully we can save something out of this whole mess.